Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my range tests. Today we are going to be driving the BMW i4 M50, and we are going to try and find out just what kind of real life range this car has in normal driving conditions. Before we get started, let's take a look at the ride we are dealing with today. So this is it. This is the BMW i4 M50. It is BMW's first car in this segment, in this compact executive saloon segment. I know it's a Grand Coupe, I know it's supposed to be a coupe car, but let's be honest, in all ways that matter, this is a sedan. This could be interpreted as a electric 3 Series before we actually get to see the 3 Series. So in terms of design, you already know this looks like a Grand Coupe, but it has some small details attached to it, like the front grille has been blocked out to make the car more aerodynamic. It has a drag coefficient of 0.25, which is not bad. And since this is an M Performance model, theoretically the first M Performance electric car from BMW, it has some specific add-ons like these mirror covers that feature this prong over here in typical M style, and around the back we have a spoiler over here and some big diffusers at the bottom of the car. So that's what sets this car apart from other i4 models in terms of looks. And we're also looking at a car that's done in frozen Portimao blue, which is the launch color for this car, and that actually looks really well. It looks really good, but it's very tricky to maintain because you cannot polish this paint and you will see all sorts of residue on it. So you might want to think about it before you buy it. Also, this car is riding on 19-inch wheels. You can get up to 20-inch wheels on the i4 M50, and even though it's sunny out, it's riding on winter tires yet. So that's going to take a toll on the overall performance of the car in terms of range. Also, we should talk about the specs for a bit. This car has the big, there's only one battery capacity on the i4. It has a 80.7 kilowatt hour net capacity, and two electric motors, one at the back, one at the front, which in total can deliver up to 544 horsepower and 795 newton meters of torque. It will do 100 kilometers an hour in 3.9 seconds. Now let's look inside. Yes, this is the new infotainment system from BMW. We've seen it already on the iX, but on the i4 there are some differences. I'm going to go over them in the full review. For now, let's take a look at what we have here. So the battery is at 96%. The external temperature is 19.5 degrees Celsius, and we're seeing an estimated range of 357 kilometers, which is pretty good. But we're going to set off and try to find out if that will actually be the case. In case you never followed one of my real life range tests, I'm going to go over the procedure right now. So we're going to set off right now on a couple of B roads to see how the car handles. The average speed over there will probably be around 75 kilometers an hour. And after that, we're going to hop on the highway, drive at 130 kilometers an hour. And then we're going to do the inner city test. I'm not going to cut on any creature comforts. I'm going to keep the AC on. I'm going to drive the car in comfort mode, not in Eco Pro mode, even though by default it starts off in Eco Pro mode. I'm going to use sport mode for a while. So I'm not going to do any type of hypermiling, because my goal is not to find out just how efficient this car can be, but my goal is to find out real life energy consumption numbers and range numbers. So you have to see these tests as a sort of worst case scenario. For example, during my inner city tests, I'm going to take breaks for an hour or two. The car will cool off. It would have to preheat the batteries once again, and so on. So what numbers I will get will be real life numbers, not the absolute best you can squeeze out of this car. That said, let's set off. Okay then, so we just finished the B-road section of our range test with the BMW i4 M50. Let's take a look at what results we got. As you can see, after covering about 40 kilometers, the average energy consumption went down to about 19 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered. We should point out that the exterior temperature is rather nice, 16.5 degrees Celsius, but we are running on winter tires. So, according to my math, considering the car's usable battery capacity is 80.7 kilowatt hours, you could squeeze about 425 kilometers of range out of a full charge if you're driving at this kind of speed. So the average speed was about 75 kilometers per hour. That said, we are now going to hop on the highway and drive this car at highway speeds to see what kind of energy consumption results we get. Let's go. Quick status update, we just finished the highway run. Let's take a look at the numbers. So we covered nearly 50 kilometers on the highway. I kept the speed at 130 kilometers an hour. I had a couple of areas where I had to slow down a bit for some incidents, but mostly I drove at 130 kilometers an hour, and the average energy consumption, as you can see, is 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered. Considering the car has a usable battery capacity of 80.7 kilowatt hours, that should give you a range of about 350 kilometers with a single charged. The temperature is still rather good for this kind of test, 15.5 degrees Celsius, and we only kept the car in comfort mode so far. We still have 66% of the battery charge left and about 269 kilometers of range according to the computer's estimates. That said, we are now going to enter the city and start the inner city range test. Let's see how the car performs in there as well, and we will post a final update after I am done. Welcome to day 2 of testing the real life range for the BMW i4 M50. We just finished, I finished the inner city loop, and let's see what kind of numbers we got. There you go, about 25 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered. As you can see, I did 124 kilometers in about 5-6 hours, so in rather heavy traffic. If my math is not wrong, considering the battery has a usable capacity of 80.7 kilowatt hours, that would mean you could cover about 320 kilometers with a single charge around town. Now I should point out that the exterior temperature was rather high this time around, so we're looking at 15 degrees Celsius, just right for this kind of test. But I never used Eco Pro mode. I only used comfort mode and sport mode. Didn't cut back on any comfort features. The AC was always at 22 degrees Celsius, and we are running on winter tires. So to recap, we got about 350 kilometers of range on the highway, about 320 around town, and 425 on B roads with an average speed of about 75 kilometers an hour. Those are the numbers I got, but as usual, I am not aiming for the best possible results. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of energy consumption levels you should expect, what kind of real life range you should expect from this car. I'm sure I could have gotten better results, especially with different tires, but it is what it is. Now we are charging the car and I'm going to start recording for the review. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe. And if you have this car, please tell me what kind of numbers you are getting with it.